In the relentless pace of modern life, have you ever felt the weight of solitude pressing against your chest? Have you ever wondered if walking alone means something is fundamentally wrong with you? In a world that celebrates social connections and measures worth by the number of friends we keep, the quiet soul often questions their place in this grand tapestry of human connection. But what if I told you that the great Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, saw solitude not as a curse, but as a canvas upon which virtue is painted? What if the absence of countless friendships is not a reflection of your failures, but a testament to your strength, your discernment, and your unwavering commitment to truth? Today, we embark on a profound journey into the Stoic perspective on friendship and solitude. We will discover why having few friends, or even walking alone, might actually be a sign of your deepest virtues, rather than your greatest shortcomings. Are you ready to challenge everything you've been taught about connection, belonging, and the true meaning of companionship? Leave a comment below. I'm ready to walk the Stoic path with you. Let us begin. Number 1. The virtue of discernment. The first truth the Stoics reveal to us is this: quality eternally triumphs over quantity. In our modern age, we are bombarded with the notion that success means having hundreds of contacts, thousands of followers, and a calendar filled with social obligations. But Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled Rome, reminds us of a different wisdom. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Consider for a moment how many of your friendships are born from genuine connection, and how many are merely transactions of convenience. How many of your relationships nourish your soul, and how many drain your vital energy. A person with few friends is not someone who lacks social skills or charm. Rather, they are someone who possesses the rare virtue of discernment. They understand that not every hand extended in friendship deserves to be grasped. They know that superficial connections are like shadows. They disappear the moment darkness falls. Seneca wrote with profound clarity, "One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood." This understanding cannot be manufactured in mass quantities. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be forced into existence simply because society demands it. Think of the master craftsman who takes years to create a single perfect instrument, while others churn out thousands of inferior copies. Who possesses greater skill? Who demonstrates greater wisdom? The Stoic with few friends is the craftsman of connection. They refuse to dilute their emotional energy across shallow pools. Instead, they choose to dive deep into the ocean of meaningful relationship, even if that ocean contains only one or two souls who truly understand them. Ask yourself this: would you rather have 100 people who know your name, or 3 who know your soul? Would you rather be surrounded by those who applaud your successes, or accompanied by those who hold your hand through your darkest failures? The virtue of discernment teaches us that being selective is not being cold, it is being wise. It is recognizing that your time, your energy, and your emotional capacity are precious resources that should not be squandered on relationships that offer nothing but noise. Number 2, the strength of self-sufficiency. The second lesson the Stoics offer us is perhaps the most liberating. True strength comes from within, not from external validation. Epictetus, who lived as a slave before becoming one of history's greatest philosophers, understood this truth better than most. He taught, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Consider the person who cannot spend a single evening alone without feeling incomplete. Consider the individual who constantly seeks approval, who measures their worth by the number of invitations they receive, who feels hollow without the constant buzz of social interaction. Now consider the person who finds peace in solitude, who can sit with their own thoughts without discomfort, who derives their sense of worth from their own character rather than from external affirmation. Which of these two has achieved true freedom? The Stoic who walks alone has cultivated the magnificent virtue of self-sufficiency. They do not need others to complete them because they are already whole. They do not seek validation from the crowd because they have learned to validate themselves through the practice of virtue. Marcus Aurelius reflected in his private journals, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This is not to say that the self-sufficient soul rejects all connection or believes themselves superior to community. Rather, they understand a profound truth. You cannot give to others what you do not possess yourself. You cannot offer genuine friendship if you are desperate for friendship. You cannot provide emotional support if you are constantly seeking it. The person with few friends has often chosen the difficult path of self-development over the comfortable path of social dependency. They have spent time in the forge of solitude, tempering their character, strengthening their mind, and building the inner fortress that no external circumstance can breach. As Seneca wisely noted, "If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable." The self-sufficient individual knows their port. It is virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. They need not ask the crowd which direction to sail. This strength, this magnificent self-sufficiency, is not loneliness. It is liberation. It is the difference between being alone and being lonely. One is a choice, the other is a prison. Number 3, the protection of integrity, the third virtue revealed through solitude, is one of the most crucial. The preservation of personal integrity. Have you ever compromised your values to fit in? Have you ever laughed at jokes that disturbed you, remained silent when you should have spoken, or pretended to agree when every fiber of your being disagreed? If you answer honestly, most of us have. The Stoics understood that the pressure of social conformity is one of the greatest threats to living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius warned, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" But consider this deeper truth. The person with few friends often has few friends, precisely because they refuse to compromise their integrity for social acceptance. They will not laugh at cruelty disguised as humor. They will not participate in gossip that tears others down. They will not pretend to believe something they do not believe simply to avoid conflict or gain approval. They understand what Epictetus taught. If you wish to be a philosopher, prepare to be ridiculed and laughed at by many. This is the lonely price of integrity, and it is a price worth paying. Think of the tree that stands alone on the hilltop. It does not bend with every passing wind. It does not lean toward other trees for support. It stands upright, rooted in its own foundation, weathering every storm through its own strength. This tree may be solitary, but it is magnificent. Seneca captured this beautifully. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. How much time do we waste maintaining relationships that require us to be someone we are not? How much energy do we expend on friendships that demand we diminish our light so others feel more comfortable? The Stoic who walks alone has chosen authenticity over approval. They would rather be genuine and solitary than false and surrounded. They understand that a life lived in constant compromise is not a life. It is a slow surrender of the soul. This does not mean they are inflexible or judgmental of others. Quite the opposite. By refusing to compromise their own integrity, they respect both themselves and others enough to be honest. They offer the gift of their true self rather than a carefully crafted facade designed to please. Ask yourself, are you willing to stand alone if standing alone means standing in truth? Or will you always bend, always compromise, always diminish yourself to maintain connections that require you to be less than you are? The answer to this question reveals everything about your character. Number 4, the wisdom of observation. The fourth virtue that blossoms in solitude is one often overlooked in our age of constant noise, the profound wisdom that comes from observation. Marcus Aurelius spent his evenings not in the company of Rome's elite, but in quiet contemplation, observing the nature of humanity, the patterns of existence, and the eternal truths that govern the universe. His Meditations, perhaps the greatest work of Stoic philosophy, was written not for publication, but for himself in moments of solitude. He wrote, "Look back over the past, with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too. The person with few friends possesses something precious, time and space to observe. While others are caught in the whirlwind of social obligations, the solitary soul can step back and see the patterns that others miss. They can watch human nature unfold without being swept up in its drama. They can learn lessons that only quiet observation can teach. Think of the naturalist who must remain silent and still to observe the wildlife. The moment they start making noise and seeking attention, the animals disappear. In the same way, many of life's deepest truths reveal themselves only to those who can be quiet and observant. Seneca understood this when he wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The observant mind learns to distinguish between genuine problems and manufactured anxieties. They can see how others create their own suffering through their attachments, their expectations, and their inability to accept reality as it is. The person who walks alone is not missing out on life. They are watching it with clear eyes. They see how friendships built on gossip eventually collapse. They observe how popularity fades like morning mist. They witness how those who chase approval never catch it, because it always retreats just beyond their grasp. This observation is not cynicism, it is wisdom. It is not detachment, it is clarity. As Epictetus taught, first learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. How can you truly understand human nature if you are always performing for others? How can you learn wisdom if you are constantly seeking the validation that prevents honest self-reflection? The solitary soul becomes a philosopher, not by choice, but by circumstance. Their solitude becomes a university where life itself is the teacher, where every observation is a lesson, and where wisdom accumulates like snow on a mountaintop, silent, pure, and transformative. Have you taken time to observe? Or are you too busy performing to truly see? Number 5, the freedom from social obligation. The fifth virtue that emerges from having few friends is a form of liberation that many never experience. Freedom from the endless cycle of social obligation. Consider the invisible chains that bind most people. The obligation to attend events they don't enjoy, the pressure to maintain relationships that no longer serve growth, the expectation to respond immediately to every message, to show up at every gathering, to always be available, always be present, always be on. Seneca observed with remarkable insight, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." How much of your life is consumed not by your own choices, but by the expectations others have placed upon you? The person with few friends has broken these chains. They have liberated themselves from the tyranny of constant social maintenance. Their calendar is not a prison of obligations, but a canvas of possibilities. Their time is their own, to spend on what truly matters. Self-improvement, creative pursuits, deep thinking, meaningful work, or genuine connection with the rare few who deserve it. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor of Rome with countless demands on his time, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The person who has stepped away from excessive social entanglement has realized this truth. They have claimed power over their own time and energy. This freedom is not selfish. It is essential for anyone who wishes to live a meaningful life. How can you develop your talents if every evening is consumed by social gatherings you don't want to attend? How can you pursue your purpose if you are constantly interrupted by relationships that offer nothing but distraction? The Stoics understood that time is our most precious resource, yet we give it away so freely to those who do not value it. We sacrifice our hours on the altar of social expectation, then wonder why we never achieve our deepest goals. The virtue here is not isolation. It is sovereignty over one's own life. It is the recognition that you are the guardian of your time, and you must protect it as fiercely as a mother protects her child. Epictetus taught, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." The person with few social obligations does not grieve for the parties they miss or the invitations they decline. Instead, they rejoice in the freedom they possess. Freedom to think, to grow, to become who they are meant to be. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your life belongs to you, and how much have you surrendered to the demands of others? If you disappeared tomorrow, how many of your friends would truly grieve the loss of you versus grieving the loss of what you provided for them? This is the difficult question that solitude forces us to confront, and the answer is often liberating. Number 6, the depth of meaningful connection. The sixth virtue we discover is perhaps the most beautiful paradox. Those with fewer friends often experience deeper, more authentic connections than those with many. There is a mathematical reality that cannot be escaped. Human capacity for genuine connection is limited. Your emotional energy is not infinite. Your attention is not unlimited. The time you have to invest in relationships is finite. Marcus Aurelius understood this when he wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." We cannot be deeply present with many people simultaneously. We cannot give our full attention to dozens of relationships without spreading ourselves so thin that we become nearly transparent. The person with few friends has made a profound choice. Depth over breadth. They would rather know 3 people intimately than know 300 people superficially. They would rather have one conversation that transforms them than have 100 conversations that entertain them briefly before fading into insignificance. Seneca captured this wisdom. One loyal friend is worth 10,000 relatives. Notice he said, loyal friend, not casual acquaintance, not convenient connection, not fair weather companion, but a genuine friend who knows you completely and chooses to walk beside you anyway. These deep connections cannot be rushed. They cannot be manufactured. They require time, vulnerability, shared experiences, and the courage to be truly seen. In our world of instant everything, these friendships are rare treasures. Consider the difference. The popular person at the party who knows everyone's name but no one's story, versus the quiet individual who sits with one person, asking questions that matter, listening with their whole being, creating a connection that will endure long after the party has ended and the crowd has dispersed. Which experience is more valuable? Which connection will sustain you through life's darkest moments? The Stoic who walks with few companions walks deep. When they say friend, they mean someone who has seen their shadows and loved them anyway, Someone who knows their fears and stands beside them regardless. Someone with whom silence is comfortable because the connection transcends the need for constant noise. Epictetus taught, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." The person with few friends has learned to be highly selective, keeping company only with those who genuinely uplift them, who challenge them to grow, who reflect their best selves back to them. This is not elitism, it is wisdom. It is not coldness, it is warmth, concentrated like sunlight through a lens, capable of starting fires that illuminate the darkness. How many of your friendships have this depth? How many of your connections could withstand the storms of life? How many people truly know you? Not the version of you that you present to the world, but the real you, flaws and all. If you can count them on one hand, you are wealthier than most. Number 7, the cultivation of inner richness. The 7th virtue that flourishes in solitude is perhaps the most transformative: the development of a rich inner life. Marcus Aurelius, in the midst of military campaigns and the burdens of empire, found his greatest peace not in the company of others, but in the company of his own thoughts. He wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." The person with few friends has discovered this inner sanctuary, while others are constantly seeking external stimulation, external validation, external entertainment. The solitary soul has learned to find inexhaustible richness within themselves. They have become their own best company. They have developed a relationship with their own mind, their own imagination, their own capacity for wonder. They have learned that being alone is not the same as being lonely. It is, in fact, an opportunity for the most important conversation you will ever have, the conversation with yourself. Seneca observed, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." The person with a rich inner life understands this profoundly. They do not postpone living until they find the right group of friends. They do not wait for social validation to feel complete. They live immediately, drawing from the infinite well of their own consciousness. This inner richness manifests in countless ways: in creativity that flows freely without the fear of judgment, in thoughts that can develop fully without constant interruption, in the ability to process emotions completely rather than suppressing them to maintain social appearances, in the development of unique perspectives rather than simply adopting the opinions of the crowd. Think of the great artists, writers, philosophers, and inventors throughout history. How many of their breakthroughs came in moments of collaboration, and how many came in moments of solitude? Leonardo da Vinci, Emily Dickinson, Nikola Tesla, Rainer Maria Rilke, brilliant minds who often worked alone, not because they couldn't connect with others, but because their inner worlds were so rich that solitude became essential for their work. The Stoic, who has few friends, often has few friends because they have discovered something that most people never find. They have discovered themselves. And once you truly discover yourself, your values, your purpose, your capacity for thought and feeling, ordinary social interaction often feels shallow by comparison. This is not arrogance. It is simply the reality that once you taste the depth of genuine self-knowledge, once you experience the richness of a fully developed inner life, you cannot return to superficiality without feeling starved. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The person who has cultivated inner richness has achieved this mastery. They are not dependent on external circumstances for their happiness or fulfillment. They carry their own source of light within them. Ask yourself, if you were stripped of all social connections tomorrow, what would remain? Would you be empty, or would you discover an entire universe within yourself, waiting to be explored? Number 8. The strength of nonconformity. The eighth virtue we must examine is one that often carries the highest price: the courage to live according to your own principles rather than conforming to social expectations. Marcus Aurelius faced this challenge daily. As emperor, the pressure to conform to tradition, to please senators, to maintain social hierarchies was immense. Yet he wrote, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." The person with few friends has often paid the price of nonconformity. They have chosen to think differently, live differently, value different things than the majority around them. This inevitably leads to fewer friendships because most people are more comfortable with those who reflect their own beliefs and choices back to them. Consider the person who chooses simplicity in an age of consumption. The person who values silence in an age of constant noise. The person who seeks depth in an age of superficiality. The person who questions everything in an age that demands blind acceptance. These individuals will not be popular. They will not have vast social networks. They will often walk alone, not because they are incapable of friendship, but because true friendship requires finding others who also dare to think independently, and such people are rare. Seneca wrote with his characteristic clarity, "If you live according to nature, you will never be poor. If according to opinion, you will never be rich." The nonconformist has learned to live according to nature, to their own nature, rather than according to the opinions and expectations of society. This takes extraordinary courage. It means facing criticism, enduring judgment, accepting misunderstanding. It means watching others bond over shared delusions while you stand apart in uncomfortable truth. It means being called negative when you're simply being honest, being called antisocial when you're simply being selective, being called difficult when you're simply being authentic. The Stoic who walks this path understands what Epictetus meant when he said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." They are content to be misunderstood by many because they would rather be understood by few who matter than misunderstood by all while pretending to fit in. This is not stubbornness for its own sake. This is not contrarianism or rebellion. This is something far more profound. It is the alignment of one's life with one's deepest values, regardless of social consequence. History remembers the nonconformists. It remembers Socrates, who chose death over compromising his principles. It remembers the philosophers, scientists, and artists who stood alone against the tide of popular opinion because they saw truths others could not or would not see. The person with few friends due to nonconformity is in noble company. But here is the question you must ask yourself. Are you willing to stand alone if standing alone means standing in integrity? Or will you sacrifice your truth on the altar of social acceptance, slowly eroding your soul until nothing authentic remains? This is the choice that defines a life. Choose wisely. Number 9, the practice of emotional independence. The ninth virtue that emerges from solitude is one of the most liberating. Emotional independence from the judgments, approval, and opinions of others. Epictetus taught, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone.'" This is the mindset of emotional independence, and it is extraordinarily rare. The person with few friends has often achieved what most people spend their entire lives seeking: freedom from the need for external validation. They have learned that their worth is not determined by how many people like them, approve of them, or want to spend time with them. Their worth is intrinsic, unchanging, and independent of social opinion. Consider how much suffering comes from our need for approval. We say yes when we mean no. We hide our true opinions to avoid conflict. We present carefully curated versions of ourselves to gain acceptance. We measure our success by the number of people who validate us rather than by our own internal standards. This is exhausting. This is soul-destroying. This is no way to live. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." The emotionally independent person has reversed this dysfunction. They care deeply about their own opinion of themselves and very little about the opinions of those who do not truly know them. This does not mean they are callous or uncaring. Quite the opposite. Because they are not desperate for approval, they can offer genuine compassion without expectation of return. Because they are not dependent on others for their emotional stability, they can be fully present for others without draining need. Emotional independence is the foundation of both solitude and genuine connection. Paradoxically, you can only truly connect with others when you don't need them to complete you. You can only offer authentic friendship when you are not desperately seeking friendship. Seneca understood this when he wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." The emotionally dependent person lives in constant fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of abandonment. The emotionally independent person has faced these fears and found them powerless. They have discovered that rejection is not death. That judgment cannot harm you unless you grant it power. That even complete abandonment cannot touch your essential self, which exists independently of any relationship. This is freedom in its purest form. Ask yourself, how much of your behavior is driven by seeking approval? How much energy do you expend trying to manage how others perceive you? What would you do differently if you truly didn't care what anyone thought? The answers to these questions reveal the distance between where you are and where you could be. Number 10, the wisdom of selective solitude. The final virtue we must explore is perhaps the most misunderstood, the wisdom of choosing solitude not as a retreat from life, but as an embrace of its deepest possibilities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "People seek retreats for themselves, houses in the country, seashores and mountains, and you too are wont to desire such things very much. But this is altogether a mark of the most common sort of men, for it is in your power whenever you choose to retire into yourself." The person with few friends has discovered that the greatest retreat, the most profound sanctuary, exists within. They have not been forced into solitude by failure or inadequacy. They have chosen it as a path to wisdom, growth, and authentic living. This selective solitude is not about rejecting all human connection. It is about being intentional. It is about recognizing that not all connection nourishes the soul and having the courage to step away from what drains you toward what sustains you. Seneca captured this beautifully. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. The selectively solitary person understands this mutual process. They don't avoid all people. They avoid people who diminish rather than elevate, who drain rather than nourish, who demand conformity rather than celebrate authenticity. They have learned that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to step away from relationships that require you to be less than you are. Sometimes, growth requires you to outgrow people who cannot or will not grow with you. This is not cruelty. It is wisdom. It is not abandonment. It is self-preservation. As Epictetus taught, Keep company with those who may make you better. The Stoic who embraces selective solitude has learned life's most difficult lesson. Sometimes being alone is the only way to remain true to yourself. Sometimes walking without companions is the only way to walk in the direction your soul must go. But here is the beautiful paradox. Often, when you stop desperately seeking connection and embrace solitude with purpose, the right connections find you. When you stop trying to fit in everywhere, you discover where you truly belong. When you release relationships built on compromise, you create space for relationships built on genuine compatibility. The question is not whether you have many friends or few friends. The question is, are you living authentically? Are you honoring your deepest values? Are you becoming who you were meant to be? If the answer is yes, then whether you walk alone or in company, you are walking the right path. And so we come to the end of our journey today, but it is only the beginning of yours. We have explored 10 virtues that flourish in solitude: discernment, self-sufficiency, integrity, observation, freedom, depth, inner richness, nonconformity, emotional independence, and selective wisdom. These are not consolation prizes for those who cannot make friends. They are the hallmarks of a life lived according to Stoic principles. Marcus Aurelius left us with these words: "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." If you find yourself walking alone, do not despair. Instead, ask yourself, what virtues am I cultivating in this solitude? What am I learning about myself? How am I growing stronger, wiser, more authentic? Remember that the great Stoic philosophers often walked alone, not because they were incapable of friendship, but because they understood something most people never grasp. The quality of your character matters more than the quantity of your connections. Seneca reminds us, everywhere means nowhere. If you try to be friends with everyone, you end up being friends with no one, least of all yourself. So embrace your solitude if that is where you find yourself. Use it. Learn from it. Let it forge you into someone of substance, someone of integrity, someone who does not need the crowd to know their worth. And if deep friendships come, true friendships built on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine understanding, welcome them. But do not chase them at the cost of your authenticity. As Epictetus taught, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You may have few friends, you may walk alone, but if you walk with virtue, with purpose, with integrity, you walk in the company of the greatest minds in human history. And that, dear friend, is enough. Thank you for walking this path with me today. If these words resonated with your soul, please share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment telling me which virtue spoke to you most deeply. Until we meet again, remember, you are not alone in your solitude. You are in excellent company. Walk with wisdom. Walk with strength. Walk the Stoic path.